Mount Holly Planning Commission regular meeting, Wednesday, January 17. Apologies for the delay. Anyone watching this on Chemo Valley TV or online? Technical difficulties. First order of business is any changes to the agenda. Do we have any? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. Next is approval of minutes. We had one set of minutes distributed from our meeting. Okay.
Turn yours up. What do you want?
End it.
To turn it off.
Yeah, okay, thank you. We have one set of minutes distributed from the December 20 regular meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review them?
Yes.
Okay. Any changes, corrections, additions? I had a couple that I reviewed with Faith before the meeting. I'll try to see if I can remember them. I think it was 4B2. I would like to see the language changed slightly to be more specific. The select board not only confirmed they want to renew, but they resolved to renew. I think that's important because that's what the state's going to look for. There was a resolution to renew. And I think it was, the next was in 7A. It is my recollection that we did not, well, let's say it this way. It was my recollection that while we were not entirely sure who would be making the specific changes to the plan that the select board requested, we did not contemplate there being another planning commission hearing, only potentially another select board hearing. Does that match everyone else's recollection?
Yep. Yes.
So that, I would like to see that slightly changed as well. Everything else, I think, I didn't have anything else, did I?
No.
Everything else looked excellent. So I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the minutes from December 20 with those two changes.
I'll second.
Second by Indy Schultz. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
Aye.
Stephen has raised his hand. Any opposed? None opposed. Minutes are approved. Thank you. Next order of business. Any report from Faith as administrative officer?
No, only the subdivision application, which will be a later agenda item.
Okay. I don't think I have anything to report.
Select board hearing, or
We'll get to that, I think, in town plan status. Yeah. So, and then there was some email stuff we can talk about under email. So yeah, let's move straight into subdivision proposals. We have received a proposal, an application. I'll indicate that the applicant is not present. The agenda was to have a sketch plan review. We do not have the sketch. So I think the only other item to discuss about it is the status of the application. So we do not have a proposal for the lot layout or a plat or a sketch at the moment, right?
that's correct.
Okay.
Well, John?
We have one, a picture of one from email. Right? Go ahead, Andy.
Well, I think that's what I was going to say. And Faith was kind enough to ask the applicant send a photo of it so I could more easily review it at the meeting. And it seems possible that the applicant thought that sending the photo was sufficient. I don't know that whether it is or not, but it seems possible the applicant thought so.
Well, just to clarify, in my discussions with the applicant, we had agreed that he would be at the meeting with 2 physical copies of his sketch plan for a discussion on the proposals. And I asked him specifically for a photo or some electronic copy, simply to allow you, Andy, to access this. If I misled him into thinking that he didn't need to appear and discuss it, then I'll need to clarify.
His intention was to.
Yeah, that was my understanding.
Yeah, these things happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like you misled him, Faith. Sounds like you're quite clear.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and table this till next month then, when we can ask the applicant to appear again. And just clarifying that without a plan plat, the application is technically not complete. So we are still in the sort of advising stage of the application. So just clarifying that our clock has not started.
Yes.
Okay, good.
It was my understanding that this would be the advisory.
Right. Sketch plan review. Okay, so we'll move sketch plan review for next month, and you can be in touch with Robert on that. Okay. Email. We did have a couple of emails. I think maybe you can tell me what they meant. The one I wanted to start with is the Landy email. I didn't read it carefully enough, maybe. Did you get that one?
I don't think I saw.
Oh, okay.
This was.
The goats.
Oh, right. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, Landy. I think it's the Landy property.
Yes.
What is good? What is the deal? Can you just summarize the email if possible? Because I couldn't quite follow it.
A town resident wrote to the planning commission regarding the proposals of a neighbour to build a house. The resident was unhappy about the location of the proposed building. And so I clarified that since we don't have any zoning,
Right. Okay.
the only rules that would apply would be those related to state, especially wastewater permits, and that the person who'd written to me, written to the planning commission, should discuss with his neighbour and see if they could find a mutually beneficial solution.
Okay. So there was quite a lot of discussion in the email about their intentions for their property, but that wasn't the point, right? The point was that they were using that to say they didn't like the position of the new development, the location of the new development. Okay. So that's what got me a little bit confused.
Yeah.
Just so you all know,
Where is this?
It's on Cy Parker Road.
Out by the town line, I think.
Yeah, and potentially, I think the rationale for the siting of the proposed building, for which I admit we have not yet received a DCR, is that there is an extremely narrow access point, which from the maps looks as if it runs several hundred feet. And I'm assuming that the siting of the house is relatively close to where the plot opens up, which puts it also quite close to the neighbour. So I think that's probably why.
Now, is this located on the end of Cy Parker?
It's not right at the end. Since I have those maps open, I can show you if you like. Would you like to see?
Sure.
I'd be interested because Cy Parker Road comes back over to me.
Is there anything private on your screen that you wouldn't like shared with the world?
No,
okay. Well, then why don't we go ahead and put it on the screen? Peter, would you enable co-host sharing?
Yeah, is she logged in?
I'm not logged into the meeting though on this laptop.
All right, never mind. We'll just show it in the room.
But the issue, yeah, okay. Let me.
You could just swing your screen around a little bit.
Let me just find it.
Ideally, but
I mean, she could join. It won't cause any problem.
Faith, what's the name of the person who wrote?
The person who wrote was Sam Landy. The property is at. The property he's concerned about is between 232 and 583 Cy Parker Road, which are two not completely contiguous plots. I'm just trying to show the commissioners here okay.
And what they were describing is that they intend to do some fairly large scale dairy, I believe, or is it
Goat.
meat? It's on
Dairy goat.
Goat farming.
Yeah, is it dairy or is it meat? I can't remember.
I think it was meat.
Yeah, meat goats.
This apparently had been sent to the Planning Commission on the advice of Dennis Devereux to Sam Landy, because Sam Landy approached Dennis and said, who do I contact? So,
Are you able to swing that laptop more towards John? I might be able to get the camera.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting there's a camera on my shoulder.
yeah, I don't think they'll be able to see. Okay,
Got amazing guns.
so this is one of the Landy properties. I think that's 283.
Okay.
This
Let's
one,
can you get me bearings? This is 155, and we come up
you come up
This is-
Beaver Meadow.
This
and-
crooked one here is Cy Parker.
Cy Parker, and that's where it's not. Well, I don't even know. Is it class 4 or what it
I
is?
think
past
Yeah, it's
four?
class 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
untraveled.
Because that the two little red lines there, those go down over to my house.
Yeah,
And
well,
from the
sort of.
far side of that, no, they do. From the far side of that field down through to my road, it's been thrown up years ago.
Okay, so the Landy family owned this plot, which I think was 282, and this one, which is 583.
Yeah,
The plot that was sold, I think it was 18 months ago, is this one, which, as I say, has a relatively narrow access.
oh, interesting.
Kevin Hollebeek is currently doing some potential work, I think, on septic. So that will presumably also affect where they might locate. But I think from the initial question from Sam Landy, they're planning either on here or somewhere on here, because he was saying that it was very close to one of these two properties. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, see, there's right in here. I can't tell you exactly. There's a road that goes, an actual road that goes down in there that accesses that property.
Yes,
Well, probably right.
that's
That's clearly what that was intended to do. Yeah,
yeah.
you can
It's
see
an
it.
old farm
You can
road.
sort
Yeah.
of lose it. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and as a sort of by the by, Sam Landy mentioned that his future plan is to bring in goats and potentially have a large number of goats. And he was concerned that the runoff from his hillside goats may affect the neighbouring property.
No,
Well,
it would be just like putting cows out there,
yes, I think it was.
or your horses.
Yeah,
The runoff would be what?
I don't know,
Minimal.
but I have a feeling that it was partly a way to try and convince his neighbour to move the location of his.
Exactly.
But I think if there was going to be sufficient runoff, then the state would be involved.
Oh,
anyway,
the state would be all over it.
so-
But if it's a farm operation, the state ain't gonna bother it too bad.
yeah.
That's where Andy would be handy.
I tried to
He's
put it
into
on
that
the
state
elevation
stuff.
so we can see them. Yeah, well,
You mean Andrew or Andy?
Andrew, how's that? The
Thanks for
other
the clarification.
the other Andy.
Yeah. Listen, I did a little quick online research, and there's a Airbnb site owned by someone named Landy. So I'm just wondering whether maybe Landy's concern is the potential impact on his rental business, which may be neither here nor there, but that might be part of it.
See where that
They own that. The
red
la-
lines come up to the wall, or that's Mainhurst property line.
Who approved this subdivision? Jeez Louise, look at that. What's following the ridge line, I guess, or something,
Yeah. But
Ay,
this,
ay.
this property and this property are the Lundy properties, and then this is
Dennis.
they should have bought it.
Now Dennis's property comes up there somewhere,
yeah. I think he's I'm not
and
sure.
he sold off.
The back part.
He subdivided off to may have been Landy.
The boundary line adjustment, as I recall, but yeah, the back part. Yeah.
That was God,
Okay.
that was 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
with
mean-
the road, and the road being the access, because it needed to have access to the road, the property.
Yeah, that's just such a wonky subdivision. But
It
what
just
can you
makes
do?
for a wacky thing. I can see.
I wouldn't want to have to patrol that boundary line, like with, put a fence line, it's whatever, but that's
Well, if
over
he owns the whole chunk, it ain't gonna matter
there. He doesn't.
because he'll straight across and be done.
Yeah, well, anyway, so
but
there's,
I think it's a sort of classic example of people expecting the town to be able to
well,
give some.
I think there's a misunderstanding. You don't get the benefits of zoning without the downsides. So you get the whole thing, If you don't
Well-
want some of the downsides, you don't get some of the benefits.
That one right there is really,
Yeah, so
Well,
you're better off just to avoid that one if we can.
well, it just
in
looks
the-
like when they did it, because you got to have access to a road, so they gave them
Yeah, that little strip.
That little strip
That's
of
that's that road. I know where that is.
gave them the back.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. We had a couple others that were just asking if we have any regulations for building stuff, but anything else?
Roof replacement.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now there's something over by Norton's going on. Just beyond Norton's property. Because they strip cut it.
I haven't heard anything.
Because the logger called me for a burn permit. And I went over and looked and said, what the hell? That's strip cut.
Was it? I don't know about it.
When you strip cut something, that's usually
Yeah.
got something else involved.
I think that's it for communication. There's correspondence. We have nothing in the inbox anyway, so, okay. New business, I don't think we have any. Anybody have any new business? No. Unfinished business, town plan status. As you all know, Select Board had their hearing last night. Very civil, I thought. Went fairly well.
Nobody threw any rocks at
Yeah,
anybody.
which was great because there was little girls in attendance.
Good strategy.
Unfortunately, not a strategy. Strategy is that child care situation. Let's see. So the select board indicated to the attendees that they would still be accepting comments through the end of the week.
Till Friday.
From there, I think they will consider any changes at their next regular meeting. I think that's the way I understood it. At that time, they will then either vote on the changes if they are insignificant, or if they're significant, schedule another public hearing. When and if they schedule another public hearing and have further changes to the plan, we will need to see them and write up a report on their implications and revise our existing report.
It was interesting to see who was here last night.
Yep.
There was little to none in the young people category.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's probably a lot of reasons for that. From what I did hear, that Mount Holly School was out yesterday. They didn't have school,
Yeah, I don't know why.
which
It was
In-
no, it was an
in-service, maybe?
in-service day.
So that means parents were probably struggling with juggling tasks and kids and childcare and dinner and all that.
Been
So
there and done that.
yeah.
I had two of them.
So yeah, it is something that, it's an ongoing challenge to get younger people involved in civics of this town. But so anyway, we'll see. And we won't really know much, I think, until it's actually is it actually 3 weeks from now?
It's February the 9th.
2 weeks?
which is-
Almost 3, right? Where are we? Today's the 17th.
13th, I know.
1, 2. So it's February 13th is the next meeting?
I think that's a select board meeting.
It's the 9th.
9th is
But
on a Friday.
That can't be right.
No. It's got to be the 13th, right?
I would
Second
think.
Tuesday, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's quite a long ways off.
That's only 4 weeks.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we're in a holding pattern. So from there, it will be a minimum, the very earliest they could do another hearing if that's required. And it seems like 50-50 maybe at this point, whether we do that. That would be another 15 days at the very least. Probably more like another week. So, 21 days because you have to get it into the journal and that's like a week delay. So we'd be looking at, we don't even have that calendar up there, but that would be
When's the town meeting?
it will have to be after the town meeting for sure. So we're talking mid-March for another hearing. So anyways, that's sort of what's coming. And then from there, after select board approval, then it goes to the regional. I think proof. So it would probably be another month delay there too, because the select board meeting is the week before the regional planning commission meeting. And that's not sufficient notice for them to give. So we would be a month and a week
Point that cute.
notice for the regional.
Second Tuesday in March is the 12th.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll play it by ear and we'll do the best we can. Time is tight on it a little bit, but in our minutes from December, we said that we don't necessarily need to wait for the final approval before at least taking a look at the application process for the Belmont designation. Once we have a little bit of, now that we have a few weeks, I guess, before anything happens, why don't we put that on our next meeting agenda just to start that process, and I'll look into it. Maybe Andy can help me out with that in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll have an idea what it'll entail. I honestly haven't looked at it yet because we've been awful busy. I think that'll help us get a little bit of a leg up when and if we get the go ahead from the select board. So, anything else on the town plan? I think pretty much wait and see.
Until the select board makes a decision in some direction.
Yep.
There's nothing we can do.
Yep. Well, we put in our time, we did our work. So
It's vacation time.
yeah, a little bit. So. Any other unfinished business? I don't think we have any today. Public comments? Peter? All right. Upcoming meetings. I don't see any need for a special meeting. And maybe we don't need any going forward unless there's another issue comes up along the way, but
Just a
does it
regular.
sound okay to everybody else? We don't need to be making more work for ourselves.
Agreed. Can we just confirm the date of the next regular meeting?
That would be the 21st of February.
Great. So I'm already on my calendar.
Yeah, and at that meeting, we will probably be able to respond to whatever action is taken on the 13th by the select board. So we'll have a few days to work.
And we should be
Oh,
having that subdivision show up too.
That's right. In February, we'll also bring the subdivision back. All right. I think that's it. Mostly technical challenges tonight, but anybody have anything else?
That meeting's gonna be busy.
Well, if there's nothing else, meeting is adjourned, 7:53.